Wait, which project? Oh, I thought you were saying you already were broadcasting that. Got it. Mm-hmm. Well, it sounds like a good streaming project, like in terms of just like visual interest to it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Sounds good.
So does the way your like cave or the way Delver generates, does it like generate a chunk? I gotta think of how to word this because I'm great at that. Okay, never mind because I guess through first. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. See, and I'm just trying to. Oh, go ahead.
Woo. All right. See you guys.
Ciao.
See ya.
All right, hey everybody. Sorry about that. Let me see real quick. I'm doing the part of my stream where, yep, looks like my volume's coming through all right. Yeah, I decided before my stream today to hop into a voice chat on my Discord server. So that might have been coming through. So I apologize if it was. Yikes. I guess I only started the Discord, or I only started the stream a few minutes into that, so hopefully it wasn't. I mean, we weren't talking about anything bad. It's just I didn't really want to have that on my stream. But oh well, I will figure this out when someday, or maybe not. Who knows? So hey, I'm Joshua, and this is my lunch break stream where I work on a project 1 hour a day over my lunch break, and I find it a useful way to break up my day. I do other work throughout the day, and it's nice to take an hour of my day to work on a project that's for me and that interests myself and usually some other folks as well. So yeah, let's get going. Let me do this. Hey chat. Okay, so I'm working on what I term is a little utility to translate 2D tile maps into a 3D tile map, specifically to bring it into Quake. So I guess I could just jump right to the good stuff. Let me go to the output from yesterday's work. Games Quake. Sometimes I'm curious why Commander is so slow. This listing command shouldn't be taking this long. Hello. Okay, so let's do Quake plus map T0. This is the map that we generated from our tile data yesterday. And hopefully this is coming across okay. Map T0? Map T0. Interesting, I was just playing it. Am I in the wrong directory? Oh, it's out. Out.bsp. Okay, so Quake plus map out. And while it's not much to look at, this was generated from 2D data, and basically I'm stamping out a tile map. So we basically all this tile map is walls and floors, but I was quickly able to generate this. And I could run through it real quick, and I can create a new map in maybe 30 seconds. Hopefully everything looks okay on the streaming end. Chat, say something if it is or if it's not. But yeah, so here is our map, and let's go ahead and box this in just so it's nice and complete. Yeah, so right now zeros are floors, and ones are walls. And what I can do is kind of clean this up a little bit. And maybe I'll put a room in the middle, right? That'll be a thing. Or maybe I'll just put something in the middle right here. Cool. Save, and then run. And I need to go into, because what my tool does is my tool just generates a map file, so we still need to compile it for Quake. So I go to my maps directory and QBSP out. Can I import Delver levels? No. The Delver format is actually pretty complicated. I mean, it would be cool to eventually write a little API to support Delver stuff, but right now, back when the Delver room format was just a bitmap, it was much easier. But there's a lot more data in the Delver rooms now than that. Okay, so let's do Quake plus map out. Nope. Did it not compile? Oh, because I didn't copy it. So I need to go to the output here and copy that. And actually, yeah. So maps, paste, replace. Okay, wait for that to go. ID1 maps, and then QBSP out to Quake plus map out. I think I might be clipped inside a wall to start. Oh, no. We need to open up a trench room because I'm not actually generating a info player start, so that means we can't actually run the darn thing yet. So let's just do this. Do that. And yeah, it's Quake. Yeah, so this is the thing we generated, which is what we told it to generate. And I'm just going to add a point entity info player start and save. And yeah, I think that's the correct. No, it's tmax, so I need to copy that again. Okay. Yep, a makefile would be helpful. Right now, I'm still in the prototyping phase. If you notice, my script is called test. What I'm trying to do is get a very rough prototype of this concept working, and then I can actually clean it up and make like a nice little utility out of it, and hopefully release it to folks to actually play around with. Is the idea. Then paste, replace, and then plus map out. There we go. Yeah, and then we have our little room with this wall piece in the middle, and basically what I'm doing is I am, I can open up just the pieces. So we go File. What is going on here? Is something going? I think sometimes Trench Broom gets into a weird state where whenever I select it, it will hop open to a different open app, which I'm not sure why. But if we open up T0, we can see that the floor is just a floor piece of geometry and a sky piece of geometry. And when we open up the wall, it is just a wall piece of geometry, and then we just slam those all together. So the resulting is just this output map here, which is just a bunch of floors and walls. But the idea is to allow these tile mappings. So yeah, I'll talk through the idea, I guess. So I did a diagram because I think I wasn't explaining it super great. So what we do is we have a program, specifically I'm targeting Tiled, which is a 2D tile editor. I should have it installed somewhere. Tiled, there we go. And this is actually an interesting use case. Okay, so we have this application, which we generate a two-dimensional tile map. So something that looks like this, right? So we have, if you zoom in, like we have walls, and we have like some sort of like these little like decorative like geo that goes around the edges of the level. And the nice thing about this sort of map is it's really quick to iterate on. You can just, I'm just kind of scrubbing through, and I'm just kind of quickly drawing out the layout, and then that's all there is to it, right? So what I'm trying to do is use this data. So that's what this is about. So Tiled generates a couple of files. This TMX is actually the tile map data, and it also serves as the it's a project file as well. Like what's nice is the recent version of Tiled, you can actually save this as in a JSON format, and you can just kind of take a look at all the properties and figure out what's going on. But also somebody out there kind enough has an open source Python package that just loads it for me. So not even worried about it. But so this is the project and the tile map, and this is the actual tile set data. So this contains where the graphic for that tile set lives, and it also contains like all the tile IDs. And I think I need to figure out here, I think you can have multiple tile sets. So I should have made this graphic maybe slightly different, but yeah, so you can have multiple tile sets used in one tile map. So then what I want to do is I want to author this map. And then what I want to do is I want to write this. I'm writing this little app called TMX to map, which will take this map data and it will take the 3D tiles and put them together like 2D tiles. And then I need this little bit of JSON just to say tile 0 here, it corresponds to this map chunk 0 here, and etc. And all this will be is just hopefully just a very small JSON, for this tile set name, this tile index, go to this directory and use this piece of map. And all it does is it slams out a map. So basically, what's also interesting too is this is fairly like the process could be generalized. Basically, the fact that these are Quake maps doesn't really matter. It could work for anything that is transformable, so 2D or 3D data, and as long as you can concatenate that together, so as long as you can combine the result, I could generate like OBJ files or almost anything really, but I'm using the map file because I wrote a Python API for Quake and I know how to use it pretty well. So, and also I want like real use cases of my API just so I can make sure that it works. Because I did write unit tests for my API, but those always cover like the happy path and like the edge cases I can identify. But there's always more bugs to be found out there. And I like 2D stuff. I like Quake. Let's just slam this together and see what we can make. Thanks, Stephen. Thanks, Bill Badil. I'm glad folks like this. So what I'm trying to do is an interesting feature of this is here. I think I showed it really briefly, but maybe not. So with Tiled, you can actually set up rules. So what I can do is I can say, like I could draw a simple one here, and then I could say map, auto map, and then it will process that data, and it will actually add in nice like walls, and like it actually adds different layers. Like it has these overlap layers, so it has like a lot of interesting features built in. But all my tool needs to do is it just needs to figure out, it just needs to pull out the tile map and tile information and translate it. Yeah, no worries. I appreciate the support, Bill. Okay, so today, what are we going to do? I've been talking for 15 minutes and I haven't really done anything. Let's get a text pad or a Sublime Text or something out. Say goals for today. What is doable? One, prototype should load TMX files, and then maybe very rough usage of tile data. So this might be like something like this is hard-coded 3D tiles for, say, values 0 and 1. So we're only going to worry about the values 0 and 1, and we're going to hard code what those 3D tiles are. But I want to be able to load up an arbitrary TMX file, so it could be any dimension-sized tile map, and then I want to export that out correctly. And so there's going to be some work around that. So we need to dimension map correctly. I should probably center the tile map. A lot of this is, again, we're in the prototyping phase, so this is going to be really kind of slap it together, make it work, and then we can start to, that's how I tend to work, is I like to get a rough prototype working just to make sure that the idea I'm trying to pursue is worth it, and then I can actually make the architecture nice and stuff like that underneath. So this might be a lot for today, but I think I can do it. So prototype loading of TMX files, that should be okay. I think I have a Python Scratch file for that, and then very rough usage of tile data. So let's try that. I think those are, hey Bill, I appreciate the subscription, that's awesome. Yeah, I consider that like a tip jar. So if you find what I do useful or entertaining or educational, woo, yeah, I appreciate everybody's support. Like I said, I'm not going to get rich off my Twitch subs, but you folks mean the world to me. Cool. So the prototype should load TMX file. Let's get that done right now. That should be easy enough. So let's go to a Python IDE, and I'm just using the package TMX. Easy enough. I have a Scratch here. This is import TMX, and then you just hand it a file path, and you get your tile map out of there. So I guess let me just put some test data in here. I guess directory data. So how to do this? Okay. So file new map, orthogonal, layer format. It doesn't matter. The library I'm using will abstract this out, so I don't care. Tile render order write down. Again, this probably isn't super useful for me. That's also 100 tiles is pretty big. Let's just start with something like maybe 32 by 32 tiles. What's also cool now, I guess, also the newer version of Tiled supports infinite tile canvases, which is pretty cool. But let's just start with a fixed size right now. And tile size 30 by 32. That seems all hunky dory. And let's save it in my repositories. Game tools, Quake, utils, tmx to map, data, and this can be our test.tmx. Cool. And then now we need a tile set. And actually, maybe just real quickly, let's just make let's make a new canvas 32 by 32. Create. And then I want maybe a 4x4. Just give myself 16 tiles. That should be enough to get things going. I'm not going to think too much about this because that's just wasted space right now. So image size, let's just make this %, go 400%. That'll give us what we need. Turn on this, and let's just make this, make that black, and then make this gray. And that should be good enough for the time being. Let's go File, Save as PNG. Let's go to Repositories, Game Tools, Quake, Utils, TMX to Map, Data, and this will be tileset.ping. There we go. And then here, my source, browse, data, tileset.ping. With 30 by 32, use transparent color. It's not important really. Like again, like the fact that we actually have a tile, like this image here, is just a convenience feature for us. We only care about the index, the tile data. Okay, so tile set 32 by 32, no margin, no spacing. Go. So we save this as a TSX file. Which again will just live next to our map data. Save. So now if we look at our repository here in the data, we have a test.tmx, we have a tileset.ping, and a tileset.tsx. Cool. Actually, let me real quick. Let's close this. Let me rename this to tileset, or not to tileset, to tile map, just so it's super obvious like what these things are. Refactor rename, tile map. Don't use usages, just do it. Don't, just do it. Okay, there we go. So file, open, and then tilemap.tmx. Let's close this, discard. Did it lose our tile sets? File, open. Tile set. Okay, weird. I thought these were. I could have swore these were associated. File, save. Maybe because it's not used. Let me just real quick. Let's grab this black one, and I think there's a paint bucket tool probably. There we go. And then let's grab this gray one, and there should be a pencil tool, stamp brush. There we go. There we go. I think right click is like a picker, so I can pick. There we go. Beautiful. And then let's say this one, this index is, our walkable space. Cool. Save. Okay, now let's go over to our script, and let's just start kind of iteratively figuring out how to use this data, right? Hey, what is Quake? Yeah, Quake, the 1996 id first-person shooter. I am making a tool to convert a 2D tile map into a 3D map. So I like working with. I love retro first-person shooters. I like working with programming and art, and this is a nice intersection of all that stuff for me. Yeah. So let's look over here at my little scratch, and it says just do this, and then file path is equal to can I use relative path? Maybe. So this is relative to the test. So /data /tilemap.tmx. Let's see if I got that right. Let's put a breakpoint here and go. Yeah, I literally mean Quake. I want to generate like a different way of creating Quake map files. Cool. So it loaded the tile map. Beautiful. So let's down here in our watch window, we can actually inspect this object, and we can kind of look at the properties and kind of try to suss out what it loaded. So we have a background color, a height 32, and width 32. So this corresponds to the size of our map. It's 32 tiles by 32 tiles, which is cool. It has a single layer. This layer is a layer object. Okay, that's good to know. It has a name, it has an offset X, offset Y, it has an opacity. It has a list of properties. I think these are custom properties I can actually define. Yeah, I think I can just define a whole set of just key value pairs, which is pretty cool. Test. And this value, oh, it's just a text field. Hello world. Okay. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so we could actually do a decent amount with this. You could do something like X, 100, 128. Let's be power of 2. Or this could be Z or whatever, right? So these custom properties are nice that we can just kind of arbitrarily add them. Can't believe a Quake mod is still one of those popular games. You mean Team Fortress? Is what I think you're alluding to? Okay. Yeah, if you look at the Quake engine itself, if you look at the family tree and what all engines kind of have been derived from it, it's pretty staggering actually. Yeah, like I think even like in the ancestry of even games like Dota and some of the Call of Duty engine have their roots back to the Quake engine. It's pretty crazy. Cool. So we're inspecting this object. So we have a layer object, and this layer object has the tiles. So the tiles live in the layer, and then it's just the tiles as a sequence of tile objects. The tile object is a dflip, a GID. So I'm assuming the GID is some like global identifier of what tile it is. So that's int1. So unfortunately, I put this. Yeah, I made it hard for myself, and like I didn't put it in the corner. So real quick, let's right-click this and put that there, and then save it, and then let's rerun this real quick so we can inspect it and see if that changes what that value is. So layers 0, tiles 0, and the GID of that one is 3. So what this is telling me also is it looks like the tile IDs are also they're 1 based instead of 0 based, which is a little odd. So this is tile 1, 2, 3. I would have expected 0 based, but that's okay. I know Lua is 1 based, so I can grok it. You just got to keep that in mind. Yeah, this is looks like a horizontal flip, a vertical flip, and a diagonal flip. Okay, that's a thing. Take care, Build the Deal. Have a good one. Yeah. No, get some rest. Again, I guess this has been kind of a theme for today. I was talking to some folks in the Discord before this. Like, take care of yourself. Yeah, like there's a lot of life is long, so take care of yourself. You want to enjoy it. And tile sets. Okay, cool. There's 2 tile sets. Is that true? Why are there 2 tile sets? Okay. So this first tile set is named tile set, and it has, okay, so yep, that's what I expect. This tile set is called rules_sewers. Interesting. So, oh, so do I have to, if I delete that, okay, let me save this and then rerun it. So our tile map, tile sets. Yeah, now we're down to, okay, yeah, cool. So yeah. So now we're down to just a single tile set, which is, again, we're working fast and quick. Yeah, so Keely says diagonal flip is just rotating the tile by 90 degrees. So I guess, yeah. So if you could do horizontal flip, you can do diagonal flip, and if you could do vertical flip, you could, because I I think here with the tiles, you can rotate them arbitrarily, right? Yeah, rotate right, rotate left, and flip. So you should be able to, just with those three properties, express flipping and rotation, I believe. Word constructor says, was a pain to make levels for back then, 3 post-processing to have Bizbit. So you still do that stuff. It's just the tools are nicer. For example, so this is Trench Broom, and this is a pretty modern Quake map editor. So what's cool about Trench Broom is you can just drag out brushes, and it's relatively quick to make stuff in it. Like it takes a little bit of grokking, but it's not awful. But I'm just exploring different ways of tooling, and I'm not creating a tool whole cloth. Again, my whole idea is to make just this little piece here that translates a 2D tile map given a mapping and a 3D tiles into a Quake map. And this actually is the output of my very basic version. And I want to say my inspiration has come from the game Jibhard, which I think their underlying map generation process uses something very similar to this. So basically, I kind of saw like an earlier screenshot was actually like a top-down view, and then I kind of sussed out like how I would approach making that. Okay, so we have the tile set, and we have the first GID of this tile set is 1. Okay, so I guess the GID must be a unique tile identifier across all tile sets. Okay, so I just need to match GIDs to 3D tiles. In fact, I can just skip that for now and just look at our layers and assume we have 1 layer, and then for the tiles I can just assume I can just crunch those down into GIDs, right? So let's just do that real quick. So what I want to do is okay, so this will be our tile map, and width is equal to tile map dot width, height is equal to tile map dot height. Nothing crazy there. And then what we want to do is the data is flat. So I want to say something like, no. So layer is equal to tile map dot layers at 0. So this will give us our first and only tile map, or layer, excuse me, layer, this layer here. And then we just want to grab these tiles, right? These tiles are objects, but I'm just going to crunch them down. So I'm going to use my good old buddy, the list comprehension, to just make a set of basically 1s and 0s exactly like this. So let's do D is equal to, throwing out a list comprehension. And I use these all the time. I don't know if I ever really explained what they do. But yeah, basically a list comprehension is a way of building or transforming lists or sequences of data. Yeah, word constructor. For some odd reason, yeah, Quake is the one. Like I played both Doom and Quake quite a bit, but for some odd reason, Quake mapping and modding was the first one I actually like dug into in a like a weird way. Like my young teenage self really got into that, and I don't know why. Quake over Doom, but yep. That was the first time I started. That was when Quake was the first game I started downloading like QC mods off the internet for. Maybe just because that was the first time my family had internet, and Quake was the hotness right then. So yeah. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to build a list. I want to take this this hierarchical data here and crunch it to just values. So tile for tile in layer dot tiles. So what this does is it basically will give us a sequence of all these tiles. And then what I want to do is strip out the GID. So instead of doing this, I'm going to say tile.gid. So this will return us a sequence of all the GIDs for all the tiles in this sequence, which should be very similar to that. So in fact, I could probably just say data is equal to that. then now I can just comment this out. Another weird tidbit about Python is Python does not have a multi-line comment. But what I've done here is using these triple quotes. It's just a string literal. So basically I'm throwing this is a string literal with no assignment. So it acts as a comment kind of. You have basically this string literal with 3 quotes actually captures new lines, which can be handy. So it's not really comment. I could say something like, foo equals, and that's this. Then this would have the value of this, which is interesting. But yeah, I'm just going to comment out that direction. So data. So now we're parsing our data, and I can't make these assumptions anymore. So this should be modulo width, and this should be int division height. Basically, yeah, wherever I was hard coding 8 and 8, I need to replace. And also, this magic number needs to be calculated, right? So this was, I'm wondering if it was, this is what, 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if I do, get my buddy the calculator out, calc. So 8 times 128 divided by 2? No. No, this number has to mean something, and I'm just not sure what it means. 512, 12 minus 384, is that a thing? 128? Maybe? I don't know what it means. It looks like maybe, is it width times tile width divided by 2 minus tile width? Is what it looks like. Let's try it. Yeah, why not? So this should be width times 128 divided by 2. I guess it doesn't matter if it's float or int. Minus width. I think that's right. We will see. And I guess the nice thing is this can produce hilarious results, I guess. So let's see. Cool. So let's just step through this and let's just make sure that it's doing what I think it's doing. So debug. Okay. So it grabbed all that stuff correctly. All those properties are right. Grab the layer out of that, and then do our list comprehension. And let's just step. There we go. So our data should be 1024, which is should be 32 by 32, which seems right. And it's just a whole bunch of oh yeah, it's 1s, 2s, and 3s. So that's not quite what our data expects. Right now, I think it's hard coded. Yeah, this value here. So let's real quick. Let's just increment this by 1. Oh wait, by 2. So I was assuming that. Oh, this is going to get nasty quick. Let's do something like this. Let's make tiles a dictionary, and then what we can do is tiles at this is T0, which is the floor. The floor in here is index 3. So tiles at 3 is equal to m.loads of file.read. Okay, that should be fine. And then what we want is our index 2 to be the wall. So tiles at 2 is equal to m.loads of file.read. That's right. Okay, so we're reading in these 3D tiles and we're putting them respectively into positions 2 and 3 because we don't want to fiddle with the data too much. And then this value. Yes. So I don't need to increment this anymore because this is a dictionary. For copy brush in this at that. So I could get a null ref. Oh goodness. I guess because I also potentially have tile 1. I could duplicate this as well and just make it solid wall, which is gross, but whatever. I'm just hacking this together. Equals tiles at 2. There we go. So that should work now. Okay, debug. Step. So tiles is a dictionary. It has 3 entries. And they correspond to 3D tiles, which is cool. Go. Okay. Oh. Yes. Let's try that. So basically, I'm extracting the. Yeah, there we go. So the path to the WAD file is stored as just a WAD property on the world spawn. So I was just pulling it off there, but again, there's no 0 entry, so that was failing. Let's just go. Yeah, so it looks like it's working okay. Go. It didn't complain. So let's open this up in our map editor. Quake. No. Woo! Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Not perfect, but it did the trick. Nice. So I'm going to make a crazy level now. So this can be like that, and these are walls. So let's just make the good old-fashioned room corridor, room corridor room style map. Because we as gamers, it's our heritage. This is where a lot of games came from, and it's also really easy to do. It's also a very lazy level design, but that's okay. Right now we are just programming. We're just getting this stuff hooked up and working. Cool. I don't even know if I really need these little gray things because I think we coded the black to also be equivalent to those. Yeah, let's do this, do that. Yeah, just painting ourselves some tiles. Yeah, and let's just add more connections, lots of interconnectivity. That's what we need. Cool. Dr. Hegel saying height times 63 question mark. I am not sure what that means. Question mark. Oh, cool. I guess I didn't realize with TileEd, you can right click to make a selection, and you can right click drag to make a selection. So I could stamp out like room chunks. That's cool. That's super cool. And mouth sounds are super helpful when doing stuff visually. I apologize. I don't know why I do stuff like that. Okay. We're just making the best Quake map ever. That's what I'm doing. Okay, yeah, put some pillars in there, right? This is like using my roguelike skills to make quick maps. Okay, save, and then over here I can say run. And then over here, I can reload the file, open recent, out. It's a Quake file. Beautiful, and there we go. Now let's just drop in a point entity called info player start. Save, and then let's go and from our output, let's copy out.map. Let's copy that. There we are. And then let's go to the map directory for Quake. Let's paste it in there, sure. Yep, and then let's go to our command line and let's go to nope. Better, Neki says, better layout in 1 minute that I could come up with in days. That's very kind of you to say. I don't believe you, but that's very kind of you to say, Neki. So then there's maps, and then let's say QBSP out. Yep, up, and then Quake plus map. Out. Boom, look at this. And this is just, again, all this is doing is looking at our tile map data, and it's just stamping out stuff. But I'm pretty happy. Like I could crank out this little map pretty darn quick. Again, I'm just heavily relying on modern Quake tools to the triangulation isn't super perfect. Like you could better hand make a map. Like there's some weird stuff going on here. But as far as like expedience, it's not awful. Yeah. And I think so once I get the technology like working, I think I have some tricks up my sleeve how to make a cool 3D tile map, and that's gonna be more like level designing and art rather than programming. So once I get the support for, so we have the tiles loading in a very kind of naive way. The tiles are we're just looking at the index, and we've hand coded which tiles to use. So I need to figure out to make a mappings file to look at either the GID or just maybe figuring out the local ID and the tile set that it comes from, just slam those together, and yeah, I'm pretty happy. It's working, more or less. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, what's the time? 12:46. Let's take a look at our goals for today and see what we've hit. Hey, Chris. Hey, Gmon XYZ. Okay, so let's do this. Prototype loading TMX files. Yeah, the prototype is loading those. Very, very rough usage of tile data. Yup. Hard-coded 3D tiles for, say, values 0 and 1. Yup. Dimension the map correctly. Done. Center of the tile map? Is it centered? If we look at the coordinate axes and trench broom, yeah, it looks like I think I do have it more or less centered. I might need to figure out what's going on here, but it's mostly centered, and I was worried about if the top left of this always corresponded to 0, 0, we'd only be using like effectively 1/4 of our effective space for the Quake engine. So it's roughly centered is better than not centered, I suppose, but it can be improved. So maybe that's again a future Joshua problem. Steven said, this came together much faster than I expected. Yeah, no, that's one of the beauties of why I like Python is it doesn't. I can get a lot done with not a lot of code, and I'm pretty comfortable writing Python, so like I can slam this stuff together relatively quick. Yeah. So then now we kind of need to, I guess, figure out what features or properties of a TMX tile map we want to support. So let's just start making a list, right? So more or less future Joshua can fix this. All right. Okay. So features that we tiled TMX features we care about. And if I'm forgetting something, please shout out stuff. But I want to tile flip/rotation. That is something I do care about, and that's going to be a little tricky because right now, if you notice, for my tiles right now are very super generic. In fact, they're if I were to open up, say the most complicated one is T0, no T1, because I lied. So they're both two brushes, and this one is kind of poorly designed because it's overlapping like that. Let me just fix this. I don't know why I overlapped it like that. It makes some bad triangulation. I was just looking for some visual interest, I suppose, but I could do this, do that. And also I could do this, and then duplicate that and drag it down. And yeah, that's a thing, right? That's we'll save this 3D tile, and then now if I run my script, there we go, and then I open up this, open recent out, Quake. Yeah, so there. Now hopefully the geo is a little bit better. Let's copy and paste this and compile this and see what it looks like. Again, maybe I have to work within the constraints of this tool, or build better tiles also might be a solution that I can get behind, because those were very hastily and poorly created tiles. But let's paste this, replace, and let's go back to our command prompt and recompile and play this. Yeah, definitely Neki angles. I could definitely do angles. Again, that would just be I think the hardest part of this project is just going to be creating an interesting 3D tile set that works well together. But as far as the programming stuff, it's not awful. So go to id1 maps, and then QBSP out. Sweet, up, and then Quake plus I goofed. Create point entity info player start. I always forget that. Player start. Save this, and then copy this. I really need to get some, I think Dr. Kegel always pushes me to get better automation, because a lot of it, for some odd reason, I have a pretty high tolerance for putting up with a lot of these manual steps that I really should just automate. It would definitely make my dev loop much tighter, and maybe I should do that. I guess because I'm in the prototyping stage right now, I'm not super concerned about it. I guess I'll ask the viewers, for those of you who are developers, how much effort do you put into build scripts and little quality of life scripts for your work? I'm curious. Out. Cool, yeah, so that's a little bit better. Let's check the triangulation. Yeah, not perfect triangulation, but better. Yeah, and a slightly more interesting map. Not perfect, but slightly more interesting. Okay, let's see what chat says. Chris says, not as much as I should. And then Coolio agrees that Weird Constructor says, I build everything using scripts. Cool, that's an excellent practice to get into. Jay Mickle says, when it's necessary, and how much fun it will be to write the automation. Yeah, usually automation isn't fun to write. That's the problem. Usually, yeah. Jack Skater says, as soon as I get annoyed because I need to use them myself instead of those high tolerance artists. Command prompt for the win. Yep, I love the command prompt and make and shell scripts and all that good stuff. Definitely, Steven. Setting up a Jenkins build server. Whew. Yeah, I've used Travis CI for one of my other Python projects, and Travis or Jenkins is so nice. Just having it cut like a nightly build, so good. Especially the fact that it'll do Mac and Linux and PC builds for you is beautiful. Yeah, Chris, definitely. There are always future person problems. PurdyBot says, just a quick batch file to build the BSP and run the game wouldn't hurt. Firstly, I can't stand busy work that slows down iteration time. Yep. No, I think that's absolutely correct. Build.bat and DMXE is a command line. I like to recomplete on Windows. Quite a bit. Keyboard macros. Yeah. I know some artists use macros and stuff for modeling it. I've never thought of using keyboard macros for other things. I could just do. Yeah, let's just make a little script, I suppose. That's as much effort as I wanted to put into that. Maybe I'll do it off stream. But yeah, it's really cool to see how many folks do little scripting tasks and how many folks don't. So that's cool. That's nice that worked out well. We were talking about features that I care about. And for some odd reason, my Windows is behaving strangely. Why are you doing this, Windows? Maybe I just need to reboot. And it doesn't think that Sublime Text is open. Okay, there we go. So tile flip rotation, tile set information. We need this to map 2D tiles to 3D tiles. What other properties of a TMX map? Let's just look at the actual the data structure and see if there's anything we can glean from that I can kind of maybe think that I might need. Again, so this tile map, it has we're already pulling the width and the height, and we're pulling the layers. So yeah, we need to improve our layer support as a thing. Improved layer support. It would be cool to also maybe allow like layer offsets, so you could do 3D maps ish. Gmon says if you embed Python, you can use it to prepare during runtime as well. Interesting. Yeah, I thought about, I've written file watchers and stuff in the past, so it might be cool to have like this tool running on a file watcher. So whenever I save the TMX file, it just does all its stuff in the background, and then I just load up the Quake map. That might be a way to do it too. So maybe I'll script a little file watcher. That wouldn't be a hard thing to do. Improved layer support. Again, let's look at the data structure of this and see if there's anything else. So layers. Yeah, we also probably should improve our tile support as well, right? Yeah, let's add that to our list as well. Improved tile support. This is basically just looking up the correct tile set. Item 2. This is 4. Here we go. Cool. So Steven, a file watcher. So a file watcher is just a dedicated program that will watch either a particular file or a particular directory, and then it will execute a script. So for example, in my unreleased Quake tools, I have a tool called QMount. And what this does is it takes a Quake archive, which is a pack file, and it extracts that to a temporary directory, and it then will mount a drive, a virtual drive or a RAM drive on whatever system you are, and it will copy over the contents of that temp directory to that RAM drive. You work out of that RAM drive like it's a real thing, and then when you close that RAM drive, what it does is the file watcher is syncing up the temp drive and the temp directory and the drive, and then when you close the drive, it will sync up the pack file with that temp directory. So in my QMount, I'm using in Python they have a package called, I think it's a Watchdog. Yeah. So with Watchdog you create an observer, and then this observer just takes a handler. So basically you get these events. So I basically, I'm telling it to watch a directory, and then there are just some like these patterns to ignore, and I ignore directories, and yeah, I just scan it, yeah. So basically I get a callback. This is my handler, and I get a callback for onModified, onCreated, onDeleted, and onMoved. And then this handler will determine what to do on those file events. So yeah, it's like a way of yeah, yep, just yeah. As Weird Constructor said more eloquently, it just looks at the files in real time, and depending upon what operating system you're on, it will either do a poll or it will sometimes the OS will raise events if this is changed or not. Yeah, so I may do that. But right now, I am more interested on making my prototype actually work more correctly. So yeah, so tile flip information. This is also item 2/1 because yeah, this is all improved tile support, tile set information, layer support. Again, if I debug this, looking at just kind of the properties on this tile set, just try to figure out what else I might need. In the future, entities might be cool. like I know here you can actually create objects, maybe like a new object. Sure, object layer. Like I'm pretty sure you can create like point entities, and then I'm thinking with that I could actually have like I could actually define like an info player start point entity and position it here and just translate that out. So maybe 5 entity support 5.1. This would and the nice thing about Quake entities is they are just a bag of properties. So this might actually be pretty darn easy to implement. So Jack Skater said, I put a lot of effort into the asset reloading of our tools. No file watcher, but the assets and shaders are repacked and reloaded on. Cool, yeah. Artists love not to restart the editor. Yeah, no, I agree. When you're working on a project, the quicker the iteration loop, the faster you work. It's just like you save, like if you save people just a second on every single task, it really adds up very quickly. So yeah, that's cool. Yep. So again, where constructor is pointing out, yeah, again, different operating systems have different ways of notifying on like at an OS level on file changes. I think Windows doesn't. I think Windows you have to pull, but like Linux you can get events. Cool. Yeah. So I think I'm out of time, but if we look at our goals for today, I actually finished this, and we actually have a like it's doing something. Like we have this tile map that we actually built a passable Quake map out of, which is pretty cool. And I don't know what's going on with Trench Broom, but yeah, I'm pretty pleased with our progress. Trench Broom, what you doing? And now it's unresponsive. I don't know what's going on with Trench Broom. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the progress we've made today. All right, so let me do my shameless self promotion before I leave. So I do have a Discord server. My Discord server, did that go through? Did it not go through? Did my let me see. Yeah, there we go. So as a developer, I also wrote my own Twitch bot. So I was having a moment where like, is my Twitch bot not doing what it's doing? But yeah, so I have a Discord server. The server basically has a series of channels for all the projects I'm working on. This project doesn't have a channel. Maybe I should create a channel for it so I can discuss it. It looks like my stream died.